So about a month after Andrew Tate's infamous social media ban, he decides to go on the Piers Morgan show. Now, if you know Piers Morgan, you know he's kind of an asshole of an interviewer. He likes to interrupt a lot, and he likes to take the moral high ground, and he likes to put people in tough spots. So unfortunately, they didn't post the whole interview to YouTube yet. I don't know if they're gonna, but they posted a little clip of it here, and that's what we're gonna be taking a look at.
Andrew Tate's the most famous man you've probably never heard of, but the chances are your children will have. Videos of Tate have been viewed billions of times online. He's built an enormous following of mostly young men, and his often scandalous views about women that have made him notorious across the world. Views like this.
So I think my sister is her husband's property, yes.
Yeah, we're not only 20 seconds into the introduction, and he's already trying to call Tate a fucking misogynist.
Do you respect women?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Do you think that 18, 19-year-old women are more attractive than 25-year-old women?
I think there's attractive people. That's a loaded question. I don't know.
Well, it's not really, is it?
Bro, in what universe is that not a loaded question? Like, the way this whole thing started off, it was already, pretty cheap and disgusting. And now Pierce is just throwing these absolute low blows, right from the start, too. No humility.
I can't.
You know why I'm asking you?
Of course I do, but I can't sit here and
say. For the benefit of viewers who don't know why I'm asking, you said this. In general, this is also one of the reasons men find youth attractive. You want to blow up the internet? I'll blow up the internet right effing now. The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. People say, oh, you can't say that, but yes, I can. A 19-year-old is more attractive than a 26-year-old woman, and I'll tell you why. Because that 26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been effed and dumped more times, more arguments, more mess, more for me to clean up.
Okay, so what he just said is literally how all, if not most, guys think, right? No guy is going to want to be with a girl that's been with 10 dudes over a girl that's been with one dude. Unless you're fucking Steiny from Nelk Boys.
Because it's different. Like, if you're looking for a one-night stand, and one chick has 3 bodies and one chick has 50, the chick with 50 is going to give you a way freakier night than the chick with 3. So I'd maybe go with the girl with 50. Who's going to give you a freakier night?
I wouldn't want that.
I don't think anyone
for a one-night stand. Okay, 2 bodies. 2 bodies.
Yeah, fucking, you can give me a virgin for a one-night stand.
Who the hell
yes,
goes for the girl with the higher body count?
Fresh puss.
Yeah, okay,
that's a weird
but then there's
take
a lot
right
more.
there.
That is misogyny.
Why?
Because you are encouraging a mindset about 25-year-old women that makes them sound out to be infinitely less desirable than 18, 19-year-olds, and having effectively been having too much sex to be taken in a more respectful way.
Well, firstly, even if that was the case, that wouldn't be misogyny.
Well, what did you mean by what you said?
That's not misogyny because it's not anti-women. I'm saying that an 18 or a 19-year-old woman would be more desirable.
Pretty anti-25-year-old woman.
Anti-25-year-old women we can argue, but not misogyny.
Well, that's misogyny then, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Well, being anti any woman at all is misogyny.
Not when I'm saying that women are beautiful and attractive at a certain age and saying the age.
You're saying 18, 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25.
Well, than ageist perhaps, but misogynistic absolutely
Is that
not.
But you just accepted it was misogyny.
No, I didn't. You said it was misogyny. I'm telling you, no, it's not.
You know, Pierce is really using that M-word like a fucking drug addict uses meth. He seems to really love that word. He's trying his best to make Tate look as bad as possible. I could only imagine why. Tate's really trying to keep himself composed. You know, this whole time, Pierce has been interrupting him and trying to put words in his mouth. Just a really bad interviewer overall.
I don't think it's fine. I live in a world where...
You don't think it's fine?
The reason
This isn't that hard, Andrew. You can simply say, Piers, you know what? With the benefit of hindsight, I wish I hadn't said it like that. And if a 26-year-old woman's watching, I'm sorry I said that, because that actually is blatantly misogynist. And even though that's a view held by other parts of the world, it's not a view I share. Now, I would respect you more if you said that than if you try and say, well, it's said in other parts of the world, so I'm not sorry.
I think
that doesn't tell me what you think.
Then you need to understand why my content existed in the first place. My content existed because I tried my very hardest to be an absolute and utter realist, especially with uncomfortable truths. I was pointing out that very uncomfortable...
Is that a truth? Then?
It's an uncomfortable truth in many parts of the world. It's not a truth that I'm happy about.
So after unsuccessfully trying to brand Andrew Tate of being a misogynist, Morgan decides to do the absolute lowest thing you could do in media. Just look at this shit. Tell me what you think about this.
An inquest this week found that a 14-year-old girl, Molly Russell, died from an act of self-harm while suffering from depression and the negative effects of online content. The coroner said she was exposed to material that may have influenced her in a negative way, and in addition, what started as depression and become a much more serious depressive illness, and she very sadly took her life.
That's absolutely disgusting.
Right. Her father...
That's terrible.
Her father's...
Imagine weaponizing the suicide of a 14-year-old girl to make your opponent look bad in a debate. And then Piers Morgan kind of tries to cover himself, and he goes, "Oh, this obviously has nothing to do with you." Then why are you bringing it up?
First of all, what is your response to that? Nothing to do with you.
That's the first thing. Yeah, it is nothing to do with me. The fact that a 14-year-old girl took her life is truly sad. The world we live in today is... The fact that something like that happened is almost mind-blowing to me. That's truly sad. I actually feel sad inside to see something like that.
I think it's pretty obvious by now that the whole reason Piers Morgan even had him on was to just try and slander his name. He's another one of the fucking big media's puppets, you know, working with the elites, obviously. Just trying to shut this guy out. But I don't think they expected him to hold his ground like this. And I don't think they even wanted to post it, but they kind of had to, you know. Or, you know, I could be wrong. Piers is a pretty deluded person. I could see him thinking the interview went his way just because he was interrupting the whole time and being pretty aggressive.
I recognize and understand that with massive fame, you have to be more careful about being misconstrued. Like I said earlier, 1% of people misunderstanding you doesn't matter with a small audience. It matters with a very large audience. With power comes responsibility. I still believe the things I say. I do not want to be a negative force for the world. I also understand that I am a man who's lived a very difficult, nuanced life, and I am capable of making nuanced points that may be misunderstood by teenagers. However, that can be said about anybody and everything. Every opinion online can be misunderstood by children. Trying to protect children from the internet is a very interesting subject in and of itself, because I would argue that 80% of the content on the internet can be negative or detrimental to a young mind that doesn't understand the world.
So that's pretty much the end of the clip that they posted. I guess we'll see if the full interview comes out. If you guys want me to make a video on that, let me know down below. Also, let me know down below what you guys think of the clip so far. If you guys think Piers is a piece of shit, or you think Tate's a piece of shit, you know, I want to hear what you guys think. Also, make sure to slap that like button with your cock. You know, hit that subscribe button. I'm at like 100 subs right now, going pretty strong. We're looking good, and I'll catch you in the next one.